Welcome back to the show, boys. Another episode of the MVM show. Glad you guys are back. Glad you guys are tuned in. Glad you guys are listening. I'm glad I just had a Red Bull because now I'm ready to go again. Charged up, ready to go. I've been doing some other podcasts, guys, so thanks for tuning in, and I hope you're excited to hear what we got going on. So before we get started, just real quick, I want to say a big thank you to Heavy Shot for helping us out, hooking us up with ammo, and we're really close to maybe possibly having a relationship there. We got to wait for some things. A lot of crazy things are going on in the world right now. That's the last thing we need to worry about. So, but there is things moving towards that. But either way, we are excited to be kind of working with Heavy Shot and becoming good friends with those guys. Also, Eukanuba. Eukanuba is what I feed Rocky every single day. He's been on that food for, I think, about 8 months now, and no going back for me. The thing I love about it, I say this every podcast, is I was already feeding Rocky when they decided to sponsor us. So big shout out to Eukanuba. That's EUKANUBA. If you want to check them out, you can go Google them, and they do puppy chow, adult chow, senior chow, dogs. Actually, that one guy, Travis, who was that I did a podcast with? They were talking. Oh, it was Jeff. Jeff from our regional director for Delta Waterfowl,
Jeff
where
Adams. We
we have a chapter here in the grasslands. And Jeff Adams said, he goes, I swear by that stuff now. He goes, my dogs had arthritis bad. They're older dogs, limp around, couldn't even go up the stairs, couldn't hardly walk, and now they're jumping up on me and running up the stairs. I was like, man, that is a true testament. And what it is, guys, it has chondroitin and glucosamine in it, which is a huge beneficial joint supplement. So anyways, big shout out to Eukanuba. All right, let's get into this. What we're going to talk about today, this is going to be quick, fast, and furious. We're going to try to keep this one under about 28 minutes. And what we want to talk about today is our turkey season so far, or thus far, whatever you want to call it, for 2020. We both went out. Travis, why don't you tell us a little bit about your junior weekend with Talon and kind of put that into words?
Yeah, it was fun. Kind of got in trouble with Titus because he could have had a great
And I was sat at home.
video.
Incredible video.
Yeah, so it was my dad and I and my daughter Talon, and we went out and we went to a spot we went previously, and we went to the first location.
And public land, right?
It's public land.
Yeah, public land.
And we got out there, you know, it's still kind of dark, whatever, and we heard these birds, and there's some gobbles. So we move in to try to get set up for when they fly down, would be in the perfect location, you know, where she could get a shot. Talon's killed a couple turkeys, and you know, felt confidence in her ability to shoot one. You know, didn't think she'd, you know, get excited or anything like that. And what I made the mistake, I walked literally right underneath the tree where the birds were roosted.
Did you really? Did they flush out?
And you know what? There was actually one on the ground, and it was still really, really dark. And I was surprised. He was on the ground, and he took off first. And then birds just started pouring out of the trees above our heads. They
Did you just keep
took
walking
off.
or what?
They gobbled. They were going crazy, and I was just, you know what? I know they seen me, so I just pretty much just knew I blew that particular location. I mean, maybe we could have set up. I don't know. Not having a ton of turkey hunting experience, I would say. Didn't really know what to do in that scenario, so we moved and went to a different location. And no, actually, we moved and we got set up, and we had some birds gobble, and they came in. We were set up kind of in a creek bottom, I guess.
Yeah. On
the lip of it, and there was a rise about 30 yards in front of us, and it rose up again, and a Jake came up on top of there, and a gobbler and him was behind him, and I seen the gobbler, really nice beard on him, and for whatever reason, that Jake came up on the edge. He never putted, never made a noise, and he just turned around, and they left. And the next time I heard them, they were a long ways away from where they should have been. And I thought that gobbler was going to pop up any moment and she was going to hammer him. But they turned around and they just left. Never putted that I remember. And they were pretty much gone. and seen them down probably 400 or 500 yards from where we were set up, and they were just hanging out down there, just doing their thing. So we moved locations. We were moving. I seen these birds on the edge of a clearing, and we got out of the truck and we started walking. And I literally walked right up on top of those birds almost. They didn't see me. I sit down. I started calling, and there was a bunch of gobblers and hens. And they just took off, walking the opposite way. I don't know if the hens were pulling the gobblers or what. And looked across this clearing, and there was a gobbler about 300, 325 out there in the middle of the field by himself. And I'd hit the call. He'd hammer, gobble, and sitting there watching him. And he was just kind of moseying around. He'd peck the ground. He'd strut.
Yeah.
He'd gobble, move 5-10 steps, strut, gobble, peck the ground. Well, then I counted them, there was 14 hens came out from those other gobblers, and they started towards this one gobbler by himself. And they got out there, and they actually passed him, and he pretended like he didn't even see him. I mean, there's 14 girls running by, like, whoa,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking he's going to follow them. This game is over. And all of a sudden, they turned around, and they just took off running. All the hens, they just took off running like a beeline, like they were in a race to beat each other. And they all ran back towards those gobblers. And that gobbler, he just sat out there and kept gobbling, strutting, doing his thing. And took about 25 minutes. He came all the way across this opening, about 300-something yards, and walked up there and hit this little spot and just went to strutting and spitting. And my dad was with us, and he was behind this huge oak tree, and we were next to it. And I'm sitting behind Taylin, and she has her gun kind of down at her waist, and I'm thinking, this bird's going to see her.
Yeah.
She's not going to get a shot. And he stood there 5-10 minutes spitting and strutting, and I'm thinking, like, the moment she moves his gun, this turkey is going to bolt like a racehorse. And he turned, he started kind of going back towards the other ones, and I'm like, better shoot him. And she paused for a second, and then all of a sudden she just, one smooth motion came up when he came out of strut and just put the hammer down on that bird about 35 yards away. And she's a good shot, but I was surprised she hit it, just because I felt like I would have been kind of hesitant to take that shot, but she smacked him down and took him out. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we found the one turkey that wanted to listen to my rough calling and come in and yeah.
Yes. Someone was saying Travis's calling was rough on our video when I shot my first turkey. If you guys haven't seen that and you want to watch YouTube videos, you can go on there and see that if you haven't already. But
yeah,
we didn't actually. You still see the bird flopping, but didn't get the actual kill on there. But yeah, someone was harassing Travis, but no one else was saying anything. It was just that. There's always got to be.
I don't mind. I know that I'm not a professional.
That's the thing is we know we'll be the first to admit. Yeah. It's like
I don't do anything fancy or, have it all down to a science.
But I went a couple times last year, and I went 5 times this year. So I'm like as green as they get. And Travis has been doing it for 5 or 6 years, but he's kind of.
I'm not proficient.
You're kind of self-taught though, and you don't go like people go either.
No,
you don't go like crazy. I mean, I think
last year I maybe went once or twice.
Yeah,
I hardly even went last year.
I mean, you can't even count that. If you were to talk to turkey hunters about that, they'd say you weren't even a real turkey hunter. And
I don't think I really am a real turkey hunter, but I like getting out there and chasing them around and listening to them gobble. And,
we're not even claiming to be. It's something to ease the hurt and pain of not being able to duck hunt.
It's a nice transition between, in that 9 months of waiting between the end of duck season and the beginning of duck season, is a chance to get out in nature and get up in the hills. See the wildflowers. Yeah. Everything's nice and green. You wait 3-4 months, it's gonna look like a sticker patch
desert,
out there. Yeah,
literally
yellow.
Brown.
Right now, it's the most beautiful time to be up in the hills of California.
Yeah, I agree. If you want to come to California during a good time, this is a good time to see it where it's pretty. Yeah, well, lots of water.
Yeah,
a lot of birds still around and stuff. But so you had that. That was opening weekend of junior hunt, and then we went opening. That was opening weekend when I killed mine, right?
Yeah, well, we went on a little scouting mission before that.
Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night, 2 days before, wasn't it?
Or Wednesday or Thursday night.
It was Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Went out. It was Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we scouted around.
Seen a lot of birds.
Seen a lot of birds, and a lot of birds were calling.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen birds everywhere, so we're like, okay, we think we can do good. So me and Teddy, which is Travis's dad, and Travis went out, got up super early, had the cameras ready, went out there. I think we made our first stand.
We didn't hear anything.
We didn't hear nothing. Actually, yeah. Well, we were kind of calling off the road a little bit just to see if we can get a shot call or whatever.
Trying to get a gobble.
Yeah.
Find a bird.
Didn't hear nothing, but we decided to go down and make a short hike down there, set up, nothing. Travis was like, you know what, we need to go. So we got up from there, got back in the truck, went to the second spot, did hear turkeys, seen a bunch of turkeys. They were, 400 or 500 yards away on another
they were on
hill.
Across the hill. Yeah.
And
the valley between us.
And we thought something was going to happen there. We seen, all of a sudden, I don't know what, maybe 10 minutes, all of a sudden was it a Tom? Or was it a Jake? We don't know for sure. It was a Tom or a Jake. We don't know.
It was a Jake or a Tom. I never could see it
enough. Running down the hill.
And he was on a beeline.
Oh, he was hauling. Yeah. And you get your gun ready. So I'm getting my gun ready. Teddy had his gun too. I was mainly going to be the one that shot, but he was ready just in case I couldn't get a shot, which actually was what happened. He came up all the way. He was in private, come all the way through private, got on the edge of the fence line. I think he came on our side, right?
You know what? I couldn't really tell because there was some...
Me and you were sitting a little different than your dad.
And there were some dead branches between us and him, and I did see his head moving.
I'd never seen his head. That's the bummer.
I seen it coming through the branches.
Yeah.
Never a clear shot. Never could determine, if it was even a legal bird. You know what I'm saying? Right. I would assume it was a Jake or a gobbler. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
All I seen was his head, and seen it just briefly for 2 or 3 seconds, and then we heard him putting. I don't know what he's seen. You never know with turkeys. But he did that putt, and I'm thinking, well, maybe he didn't see us, maybe he did. But
I hope that I'm not hearing what I think I'm hearing.
I don't think we ever heard from him again.
No.
He left.
I don't even know. He went to the right. I see him flash through. I finally seen him.
I did see him down the hill.
But he was already going away, though.
Yeah, he was headed out.
He was cooking out of there.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to those other birds, because we seen all those other birds. I don't know where they went. I never heard of those birds again.
No.
Don't know what happened to those birds.
They were pretty fired up originally, and then you said,
they gobbled
they
a
got
lot
quiet
initially. Yeah.
So we left, went out of that spot, kind of scratching our heads a little bit. I don't what did we do? What did they see? Did someone move? Who moved? I tell you, I wasn't moving. I don't know, but you don't know. He said, they may have seen something. And we left, got back in the truck, started driving again, and then we seen some more turkeys. Actually, we did that hike back in there because we heard them gobbling way back in that little canyon.
Yeah, we heard.
So we did a good little hike. I mean, nothing compared to big game hunting, really, but still,
but when
I'm pretty lazy. yeah. When we're two healthy boys over there, we're like, yeah. If it's not a flock of 300 mallards, yeah. But we ended up going back there anyways. We actually passed another hunter who was on the other side of the fence on private property. Yeah. I don't know if he was supposed to be there or not, but he was on that side of the fence. We went past him, heard a lot of gobbling. And this was all in the video too, and it was like, man, some of it sound fake. We're like, and we heard some clucking too for like a hen. And we're like, I don't know. Travis said, you know what, let's just get out of here. So we hiked back to the truck.
If that was a gobbler, I never heard a gobbler gobble so frequently, and so often. I mean, it was just hammer,
literally every 3-5 seconds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So we went back to the truck. Right away, we heard a gobble on the other side. When you locate them, and they were on the edge of private and public. Yeah. But then we seen those that called were on that open ridge. Remember, there was 3. That's when we seen them. Yes, we were gonna make a move on these.
Right before that, we seen those. There was some on the edge of private and public. There was 2 of them that I definitely seen. I went up there to try to locate. Came up over a ridge and seen 2 gobblers there, and then I think I headed back to tell you guys that there was gobblers there. I was talking to you about that, and that's when we spotted those other 3 gobblers headed across down in that valley, going across that ravine, and just they were gobbling like crazy, just hammering.
Yeah.
And so I think that's when we made the decision. I kind of made a decision like, okay, we know those are right there on the edge of private, and they seem to just be like in a kind of a strut zone where these other birds were kind of moving, and I'm like, well, those will stay there, and we can make a play on these birds that are moving. Try to get ahead of them, set up, call. And then if that doesn't work out, we can come back and transition back onto those birds that were on the edge of private, and I thought they were in a strut zone. They would hang out there for a while. But as we were moving towards the one birds that we were going to try to cut off.
They got there a little quicker than we.
Yeah, in public land. Remember I said that hey, somebody else is already going to set up on those other birds. They must have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things with public land is just dealing with other hunters, high pressure areas. Those other guys were moving on those birds, so we kind of locked in on those birds and tried to get ahead of them and get set up. And you can tell what happened with that. And
yeah, so Travis was in front. It was me, and then right behind me was Teddy, and we were coming around trying to cut him off, get over to the edge, get set up because we knew they were making a fast beeline, and we flew. I mean, I took the truck, flew to the top of that hill, cut around the side. All of a sudden, I don't know how Travis didn't see because he's the most incredible vision I have ever seen. Maybe more for distance, but no matter what, he just got a sharp eye. But he wasn't really looking the way I had glanced to my right. He was right in front of me. He's dropped down over this log. I looked to my right, and there's a stinking turkey. Like, all I see was from his bottom of his wattles up, and I was like, oh, dude, I go, stop. And we just froze. And then he kind of like, it's weird because it's like he saw me, but he didn't.
Yeah. And I never actually weird. Seen those birds.
Yeah, you never even seen them.
Yeah.
And we just crouched down. I got my gun ready. I leaned up against a tree, and I kind of started raising my head up to see, and I could still see them. And they're gobbling. Now they're starting to gobble.
Yeah, they were
Travis is calling them. They're going back and forth.
Just hammering
but
away.
Hung up. They would not come in.
Yeah.
But that only lasted, 10 minutes?
I don't know if it was the topography of the area we were in because there was a lot of deadfalls. There was some...
Yeah, maybe. They didn't want to deal with that.
I don't know if they wanted to come across that, and not really... have a clear visual of where they're going. Not that they wouldn't. I've seen them come through some crazy stuff. But, there was three birds there together, and they just hung up there. Maybe they thought, there's tee of us here. Why doesn't she want to come over? Because, as we've talked, you're trying to reverse that role of the hen going to the gobbler. You're trying to get the, reverse that role 180, get the gobbler to come over to that hen. And they figured there was three of us and one of her, she's going to come to us. And we, I don't know how long we sat there.
I don't think it was too long. But
it
was
seemed a long time.
I bet you it was like 10 minutes, but it was to the point where we knew, like, I could tell you were like, I don't think they're going to come in. I felt that. But I don't know as much, so I'm like,
I just felt like that they were like hung up right there.
Yeah, but they were gobbling like crazy.
And they were going crazy, but they did not.
I looked at you guys like, dude, I think if I go around, I can get him. And you said, go.
Yeah.
You're like, go.
Yeah, I've done that before. Okay. Kind of did the whole spot and stalk, ambush them.
I was like, is this wrong? Like, is this a wrong method? But I knew if they kept calling back to you, I could totally sneak around that little it was just a little knob. And I went around, kind of way around, all the way around the side, and then come up on the high ground. They're a little bit lower. And it worked out perfect because when I get off track a little bit, they'd gobble back at Travis. And they're right there. I was thinking they're just a little left. So then I get there, and there was this maybe 5 foot growth that I was kind of using to crouch down behind. And then I finally just as slow as I possibly could, peek up, and I just seen the top of the head of one. And I said, okay, I'm ready. My gun's ready. And I'm thinking, and they're gobbling like crazy, and they're strutting, and I can hear them drumming a little bit. And that's the first time I really heard it that close.
Spitting it all?
I kind of, yeah.
Kind of like,
yeah, I was hearing that a little bit. And I poked my head up, and the one I looked at, I was like, man, his head's kind of small, and he's not real red. And I thought, I don't know. But I was like, I'll shoot it, Jake. I don't care. But I still wanted to make sure that I was what I was shooting at. And again, all of a sudden, I crouched back down again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till they gobble again. So, they gobble again. I raise back up. All of a sudden, the one head comes across. They're like moving a little bit to the left. And I could see him. I see his strut. He was full strut. And his head was like 3 times the size of the other one, all red. And
a lot of times you can tell when they're strutting too. Like if you can't see the whole bird, look at the back, their fan.
Yeah.
A mature gobbler will have a nice even fan all the way across, where a Jake will have, longer feathers in the middle, and then it'll kind of like a little stagger a little bit, and there'll be they'll still have a full fan, but the other feathers are not. They're not all lined up. They're not all lined up. There's a little like a jag in the.
And that's something you helped me with. Yeah. When I didn't know, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he was all plume. I was like, oh, he's nice. And I raised up this time, so I'm shooting this joker. And I raised up with that heavy 18, that stuff, heavy shot sentence, that stuff's TSS, heavy tunks, just ridiculous. 18.1 grams per cubic centimeter.
Yeah, what's crazy is how, what shot was that? 9?
9 shot.
9 shot.
9 shot. That's what they sent me.
I've shot him with 2-shot before.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that would kill it. But I had that 9-shot they sent me, and I had a full choke kicks in there, which it wasn't a turkey choke, so it could have been real. If I would have had a turkey choke, it would have been so much tighter. I don't know if his head still would have been attached, but I raised up. I put it right down there at the base, down by the walls, like Travis said to do. And I had patterned it, so I knew exactly where it was shooting and what it was going to look like. Because I think it was I want to say it was about 25 yards when I shot him, and raised up, and boom, and he just fell over, and the two for a second kind of stabbed at him, and like they were going
like, hey,
after
let's
him.
Beat him up. He's down.
And then all of a sudden they're like, we're out of here, and they flew down the ridge. And I was like, I don't know if it was a Jake or Tom, but I do know it was a Mel. And I got him, I yelled to him, and Travis and Daddy come up the ridge a little bit farther. You were probably about 60 yards away.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, somewhere in there on a different angle. And I came over, and I was like, it's a Tom, yeah. And it was, ended up having a 9.5-inch beard.
Yeah.
And his spurs were 7/8 of an inch. Nothing crazy, but.
And he tasted really good.
He tasted incredible. We made Parmesan crusted chicken. It was delicious.
Parmesan crusted
turkey. I keep saying that. I said that in the video too. I kept saying chicken. You never hear Parmesan crusted turkey. It sounds natural to say chicken, but anyways. So that was that. That was awesome. We went a little bit more, and it just didn't get any other opportunities that day to try to get Teddy Bird. But then me and him went on Wednesday, falling opener. Got that totally blown out, and we're at 21 minutes now. I'm trying to keep this short, but an old hunter friend we know comes blazing through there on his little 4x4 Toyota truck, loud. I was like, oh, he didn't even know who it was. He didn't know it was us because we had face masks. We're sitting against the truck. We pull he goes, sorry boys if I ruined your hunt. We've known him our whole life, and I mean, the odds of him driving through where we were at in all of California, he comes, it's like, what? We pull our face mask down. He's like, are you kidding me? Sorry, boys. And I'm like, God, this spot's done. So we left. We did a little hike in to no avail. Come back down the road like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and there's a stinking gobbler walking right by the tree we're at and took off in the woods. I'm like, oh, if we would have just sat there for 2 hours. Then we went again. Saturday, was that the next? No, we went in the afternoon. Thursday.
We tried an afternoon hunt.
Thursday, we went in the afternoon, me and your dad again. And we were in the area because we had those hands. You didn't see those again, but because I was in the front that time. And I just stopped and froze. I was like, oh, man. But we never got eyes on that gobbler again once we located him. We came around the back again, trying to pull him out private. And just, it's tough.
Happen. Yeah.
It seems like they're just not responding like you imagine you see on videos sometimes.
No, it doesn't always work out like a video.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm kind of like one of those people, like, you get this like intuition, like something's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I never had that intuition that he was going to come. I just like, he's going to hang up, stay over there, and try to do what should happen. The hint should come to him,
Yeah.
And he's not gonna go out of his way to come to her. So, and facing the time of day.
And it was afternoon.
It was afternoon. So I don't know how that was gonna work out, if he was gonna go to roost, if he had a spot or what. I haven't hunted the evening too much. And then we went again Saturday.
We kind of hammered it this last week.
Yeah,
we got a lot of footage. I haven't made I probably might just make a video of it anyways, though. But
yeah,
because there's a lot of cool footage
and Saturday we seen birds.
We did.
We heard them on the roost. We set up where we thought they would potentially come.
That was me, you, and Talon.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
Seen birds. They just seemed to have a direction they wanted to go, and they responded to the calls. We had a half strut Jake decoy out, but they may have seen it. They may not have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they did. They definitely didn't play the game that we wanted them to play.
Yeah. So we're at 25 minutes. We're gonna try to keep this under. Can you tell me real quick, Travis, what you have in your turkey vest, just from my personal reference, but also people that are getting into turkey hunting that are new? Just maybe something you have in yours that they don't have in it. Don't have to be nothing fancy. I'm just curious.
Basically, what I have a crow call, which I don't use it a lot, just for locating. box call. Box call seems to reach out there a little bit further, to get a response. One of the things that my brother-in-law Jeff uses a lot when he first starts out, he'll start out real quiet. Sometimes I'll use that. Like he'll go with a slate call, which I have a slate, and just go real soft because if there's a bird close, you don't want to blow them out by hitting a box call. But sometimes I use a box call to locate. I like my favorite call. I think is like a slate call or glass or whatever with a striker. I like that. That's probably my favorite call. But then as a bird, you got to move your hand.
Yeah.
With the box call, you got to move your hand.
So you have in your vest,
And
you have
so
your mouth call.
I'll spend the whole day. If you watch, I'll have a call in my
whole day.
Yeah, I'll have a diaphragm call in my mouth, and I'll use that more when the bird hits that zone, basically where I don't want to move. Yeah, I'll use a mouth call a little bit. I'm by far not a professional. I've killed a few birds. Still learning a lot. But basically that's what I have. Turkey vest is good. One thing's that turkeys have great hearing, and so a box call I don't always like because you got to.
It kind of makes noise in there,
you need something like a rubber band system or something to hold that thing in place because you bump it, it'll make a noise.
Dude, I heard that several times walking behind you guys.
Yeah,
burp,
yeah. And a turkey, I've heard if you can hear them, they can hear you.
Yeah.
So.
Kind of a
Yeah,
love-hate.
Yeah, love-hate with the box call, I guess. That's pretty much it.
You know what I guess you could do? Why couldn't you stick something between that when you're moving?
Do.
Put a little felt or something in between there.
Felt between it. Yeah. Put a rubber band
for that reason right there.
I just haven't done it. I guess I'm not.
You're not that serious.
Maybe.
Come on, Travis.
Maybe.
What else? Do you carry anything else in there?
Shotgun shells. I think that, you want to make sure you're covered if you can from head to toe. Face mask, gloves. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much what you got in yours.
Yeah. Just the box call, mouth call, slate, locator call, and chalk for your box.
Yeah,
put chalk on your box.
Does it have to be a special kind of chalk, or does it matter?
I don't know. I just buy whatever they sell at Big Five or Bass Pro, Cabela's, wherever.
Can't even go those places anymore. They're all shut down.
Yeah. To order online.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep these. We're gonna try to get more of these out because it does take time. Obviously, we sit here for 30 minutes isn't a long time, but just to get together, do this. Sometimes it can be more of a hassle than it can be enjoyable, and we don't say that like we don't enjoy this because we do like in talking and rehashing things, but. Everybody's got lives, and to get everybody over here, it can be tough sometimes. So I've been talking to these guys, Thomas and Travis, if we make these a little bit shorter, we can do more of them and cover more topics and get more content out there for you guys. And that's our goal is you guys listen either way. We thank you so much for listening and tuning in. You guys are awesome. We thank you again for giving us ratings and reviews. If you listen on iTunes, you can go on there, give 5 stars, give it whatever you want. Leave a review and say something, maybe something you would like to hear, or you can even email the MVM show at gmail.com and say, hey, cover this topic or talk about this, whether it's waterfowl, big game, turkey hunting, or whatever. If we don't know the answers, we'll get a specialist, someone that does, get them on the show, get the questions answered. We like your guys' support, and we want to give you the information that can help you guys be more successful in the field. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next one.